Hey everyone, Eric here, back for Unit 2 of the Online Teaching Workshop for Spring 2016. If you participated in Unit 1, then you kind of know what you're in for. If you didn't, what you're going to see in this activity are a series of questions. Each question I'll start with a screencast where I offer some information, show you some slides or something from a PowerPoint or a document, and then pause and let you do some writing. So I call this a guided thinking activity. This is something that I use in my online classes, and when I teach a hybrid class, I will be using this sort of thing in my hybrid classes. And so let's just jump in. So this unit is on teacher engagement, instructor presence, what it means to be a real teacher, quote unquote, for you. What does it mean for you and what does it mean for your students? And so let's just jump in here. I am going to minimize my little talking head here. So let's start here. How satisfied are you with online teaching? And if you're teaching hybrid, you can talk about that, or if you're teaching a flipped class, you can talk about that. And how does that satisfaction with online hybrid or flipped teaching, how does that compare with the sort of satisfaction and professional meaning that you get from teaching, kind of the traditional face-to-face class? So you can think about that. If you need more than a couple of seconds, you can just pause the video and think about it, and then I'm going to move on. So we have done surveys of online faculty and instructors for the last, I don't know, 5 years or more. And this is typical. So this is actually a slide from the fall 2015 survey of online faculty and instructors. And so when I saw this as the coach, I was pretty happy. So this really says that most of the folks who completed the survey who are teaching online are pretty darn satisfied with their online classes. 33% rated the highest possible score of 5, an additional 41% rated a 4. There aren't many of us that are dissatisfied. So, I think this is a positive outcome. But when we ask folks, so these are the same people who are teaching online, what about your face-to-face classes? How satisfied are you with those classes? And you can see there are significantly more people who noted a 5 out of 5 with satisfaction with face-to-face teaching. And so as a coach, what this tells me is we are still striving and struggling to figure out what does it mean to be a teacher in an online class. My sense is that some of the satisfaction comes from we really think we know what we're doing in the face-to-face class. Our role is really defined. Students' roles are very defined. Expectations are pretty much normalized. So you may be taking this workshop because you're teaching a flipped class, and then the norms are all thrown out, even though it's a face-to-face class. So I'll let you ponder this. If you want to know what I think, I love online teaching. I'm extremely satisfied with online teaching, but I still get more personal satisfaction out of my face-to-face teaching. And I think that lets me know I have work to do as a teacher to figure out what does it mean to be a teacher? How can I self-actualize as an online teacher? My goal, of course, is to be just as satisfied or more satisfied with my online teaching. I think that kind of internal check will let me know that if I'm getting something out of it, I get to feel like a teacher. That seems to me that it'll probably have positive impacts on students. So let's think a little more about this. So what do you love about online teaching? If you're teaching an online class, what do you love about online teaching? What aspects of that online class, of all the things you do, for all those hours you're spending in the class each week, what makes you feel the most like a teacher? And if you're teaching hybrid or flipped, you can answer those questions too. So you can pause and think about this before you move on. So pause it and think about it, come up with an answer. And I'm going to assume you're already done thinking. So I have asked this question many times as a coach over the last 3.5 years. I've interviewed, I don't know, dozens, scores of faculty and instructors. This is a topic of conversation. And these are the 3 top answers that I get when I talk to online teachers. What do you love about online teaching? What makes you feel the most like a real teacher in your online class? What allows you to self-actualize? What gives you personal and professional satisfaction? Number 1, teachers tell me they love watching their students improve, learn, and demonstrate skills. That's what they love. That's when they really feel like a teacher, when they actually, I guess, see the students learning and demonstrating skills. Number two, when we can connect with students, when we can make those personal and professional connections with students. And that probably leads to number three, because as teachers, we want to be able to capture the teachable moment, right? We want to be able to intervene in that learning uh, at the appropriate time, right? I mean, when that student's confused, when they're ready to head off track, when they've had that enough productive confusion, we want to intervene and put them on the right track, or clarify, or offer support for continuing to work and be frustrated but work through it. Or we want to intervene in that teachable moment and let the student know, wow, you're really on it, you really got it, right? In a face-to-face class, this may happen live, but in an online or a hybrid or a flipped class, it may not be quite as straightforward to figure out how we do these things. So what I would like you to do for this first question is really just think about yourself, your teaching, and talk a little bit about what do you love about online teaching, what aspects of your class allow you the most kind of self-actualization, when do you feel the most like a teacher. You can talk about when you feel the least like a teacher, and just really try for yourself to clarify, what does it mean for you to be a real teacher? All right.